7:45, at least 2 tornadoes touched down just southeast of Denver, which of course hosts the Democratic convention this week. Just take a look at these pictures from yesterday. You can see the funnel cloud. This dusty twister spun through relatively open country, but came close to several homes between the towns of Castle Rock and Parker. At least one more, possibly 2, were also spotted farther east. Now, there are no reports of damage other than some downed trees. But of course, many Democrats are hoping the tornadoes are not a metaphor for this week's convention. Joining us live from outside the Pepsi Center is political analyst Mark Curtis. So, Mark, the tornadoes, the top story in Denver this morning.
I'll say, and I was a little too close to those tornadoes in Parker yesterday when they touched down. I was driving along the interstate and looked to my left out the window, and whoa, there's a couple of tornadoes. So it was a little scary, and of course all the TV stations here broke in with that programming. You would have completely forgot the idea that the Democratic convention was in town because it was all tornado coverage all afternoon here in Denver yesterday. Pretty scary. Fortunately, nobody was hurt.
Yeah, that's certainly the good news. All right, now I have to ask you, we learned in the middle of the night, Friday night, Saturday morning, Joe Biden, the vice presidential pick. What's your reaction?
Well, I think it's a smart choice simply because, you know, the situation with Russia in Georgia occurring in the last couple of weeks kind of rocketed Joe Biden to the forefront of the VP sweepstakes because he is, after all, an expert on foreign policy issues. He's been in the U.S. Senate almost 36 years. He is chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Many people had targeted him as a potential Secretary of State for President Obama or President Clinton. And so the fact that he has so much foreign policy experience to a lot of people makes sense at this point in time.
Now, I have to say, you mentioned to me that John McCain has come out with an ad criticizing Obama for not picking Hillary Clinton as his VP. How unusual is that?
I tell you what, Tori, I've seen a lot of weird political ads in the 30 years I've been in the television business covering politics, and that is maybe the most unusual because essentially he was attacking his opponent for the person he did not pick rather than for the person he picked. So to run an ad criticizing Obama for not selecting Hillary Clinton, they mentioned she got 18 million votes, and certainly they're going after a lot of her supporters. I think that's what you have to read into that ad, that there are some Clinton supporters who are undecided or who don't want to support Obama, and McCain is trying to get at least some of them into his camp.
All right, and we got to say not everyone is pro-Obama there. You say there are some protests going on. Are they relatively peaceful, or is there a chance they might get out of control?
Well, of course, everyone here is hopeful that they won't get out of control. I think the only thing that is in greater population here than protesters is police officers, Secret Service agents, sheriff's deputies. The law enforcement presence here is huge. But I think in large part the protesters have been organized and have actually been working with law enforcement to hold the protests in certain areas to be peaceful. There were a number of protests yesterday with hundreds of people on the street. I am not aware of any arrests. I'm not aware of any violence. So it remains to be seen whether that will be the case throughout the week. Some of these protest groups had threatened violence, and hopefully that won't happen. Yeah.
All right. Now, Mark, there is a little bit of breaking news this morning. We knew that there was going to be a tribute to the Kennedys, but now it turns out that Ted Kennedy, ill with brain cancer, is actually there in Denver.
Well, we have a couple of surprises this morning, Tori, and that is one of them. Ted Kennedy is going to be here to watch the tribute to the Kennedy family. We do not know if he will address the convention or actually go up on stage. He may wave from the crowd. You know, we don't know the logistics of that. The other thing we've also learned this morning is that Barack Obama, the nominee, is actually going to address the convention. Now, he will not be here in person, but his wife, Michelle, is the keynote speaker tonight, and we understand from CNN that afterwards, Barack Obama will address his wife and the convention via satellite. So, yeah, a couple surprises so far. In a week, we hope to have a lot of surprises to bring you from Denver.
All right. And just quickly, can you mention a little bit about Michelle Obama? What can we expect from her tonight?
Well, I think this is very interesting because you recall early in the campaign, Michelle Obama said because of her husband's rather inspiring campaign that this, and I'm paraphrasing here, was the first time she was really proud to be an American. Of course, she's in her mid-40s, and conservatives really took issue with that. They thought, holy cow, there's been a lot of things that have happened in America in those 44 years she's been in this country, and this is the first time she was proud to be an American. So there have been a lot of conservative attack ads targeting Michelle Obama and her patriotism, and of course the Obamas really lashed back because of that. But I think you'll see her clarify those comments tonight and really try to introduce herself to the American people. In large measure, she has been kind of on the back benches of this campaign. She really hasn't been in the forefront, and I think perhaps in large measure because of those comments that were so highly controversial several months ago. All
right, Mark, is always great to talk to you. We'll be talking to you every day here during the both conventions. You can always go to Mark's website, markcurtismedia.com. And time is 7:50. We'll be right back.